can't wait until they find out that she took money from Saudi Arabia and other countries that treat women horribly. Here now with reaction, author of The Death of Cool, Gavin Mcinnes, Fox News contributor. Tamara is back. There's a part of me that says, oh, I love Hillary. I love Hillary. Oh, yes, we can. Obama. There's like, liberals are sort of like zombies. They repeat what they hear, and they know. Why did they say they'll vote for somebody and know nothing about the candidate? That infuriates me because they can cancel out my vote.
Why do you actually believe the Washington Free Banana Peel, whatever group that did this search on Hillary Clinton?
It's actually true.
No, it's not true. It's a far-right group that took the data and manipulated it to support their position.
By the way, Obama does the same thing and pays less.
Is this where you guys now get your information? Washington Free Beacon or whatever? They're the ones, anything that's reported Hillary Clinton did this, did that. There's absolutely no evidence of this, and it's just not true.
It actually is true.
No, it's not. Washington Free Banana Peel is not a legitimate
organization. The
organization.
Washington Free Beacon, which is a legitimate newspaper. Yes.
Look, there's different ways to look at the data, but the big picture here is women do earn less in America because they choose to. They would rather go to their daughter's piano recital than stay all night at work working on a proposal.
What?
So they end up earning less. They're less ambitious, and I think this is sort of God's way. This is nature's way of saying women should be at home with the kids. They're happier there.
I hope that your viewers do not take you, sir, seriously.
There's a great book you should read. It's called Why Men Earn More, and it's all about women choosing to put family over work, and that's why they earn less.
Having a choice does not mean that you're less ambitious, and your comments are absolutely deplorable. Sean, I would like
less ambitious in the workforce.
I would like you to address it. You're a father. You have a daughter.
Heroes. If you were a real feminist, you would support housewives and see them as the heroes, and women who work wasting their time.
You said that women are less ambitious.
Women are less ambitious.
You have also said that women are better suited in the home.
Yes,
You've also said that, let's see, that women are emotional and women shouldn't run for public office. All of these things that just
I never said women shouldn't run for public office.
Yes, you have. You've said that
If we're talking about 50% of the population, generally out of this 250 million people or 150 million people, most women are happier at home. They are pretending that they like working, and they're not making money because they don't stay all night at the office. They don't go the extra mile. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
Oh, boy. Oh,
I mean, I'm literally shaking.
You just said you're single. You don't have a boyfriend. You're what?
That's
you're celibate?
my choice.
Yeah, look, you're miserable. You would be so much happier with kids around you tonight. Imagine coming home, mommy's home.
You know what, Gavin? You're not funny. You're not what you do not do anything.
I'm trying to make you happy.
You do not do anything for the better. Sean, this isn't funny.
Feminism has made women miserable. Women were much happier when housewives were glorified.
Guess what? I had a choice to be married, and I chose not to. I have a choice to have kids.
You made a mistake.
We'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
I think that your guest here is doing a disservice to all of the viewers and doing a disservice to America by saying that women, that I need to be married, that I would be happier at home. That you're, what, miserably married? Just because
no,
just having a ring on?
I'm trying to share my joy. You should see my little 2-year-old.
Not everybody has the same life pattern as you, okay?
I know, it's the fall.
And not everybody wants to marry somebody in a bootleg seersucker suit and go home to that. I don't want to go home to that.
You don't have to go home to me. Go home to a hunk.
Oh, gosh.
Jesus. This is absolutely disgusting. And, Sean, you should actually speak up for the viewers today and let them know that your daughter should have a choice.
I think women do have a choice. Absolutely, of course.
No one's saying women shouldn't have a choice.
Right, when we come back, we need your help. Our question of the day is straight ahead, and I'm sure this will continue.
The dominant narrative in America is white people are evil, white people suck, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And
I don't think we should be ashamed of ourselves. I think that we should take responsibility for the system that we've created.
The best system in the world?
Oh, we do not have the best system in the world.
Who has a better system?
There are many European countries that are much better off than us.
You mean like the European countries with a higher density of whites, like Northern Europe?
That's one way to phrase it, I guess.
You don't mean Turkey.
No.
You don't mean Eastern Europe with the communists. So the only time you can come up with a system that's better than America, it's a country that's more white than America. I don't understand.
I don't know what to say to that, so.
Are you familiar with Mattress Girl?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happened there in reality?
I take her experience for it, that there were substances involved and she was non-consensually forced to have sex.
Well, her contention is she was having nice vaginal sex and then he put it in her ass and she said stop.
Yeah.
But afterwards, she went to the police with this and they saw her texts and they saw her basically stalking him afterwards, saying, I want you to fuck me in the ass and let's go on a date. I want to see you again. I mean, tons and tons of Facebook messages and texts. Does that refute her story?
I think that we deal with trauma in very different ways, and sometimes that anger comes out in bizarre situations like that, where you think it'll be better if you take it out on this person and by harassing them with strange text messages. I mean, she was also young and she was trying to deal with her emotional world in many different ways at once.
The way you're clinging to this narrative, it reminds me of a study that said when people are confronted with data that contradicts their beliefs, they become more steadfast in their beliefs.
Yeah, no, I've noticed that as well.
I mean, this guy is suing the school. Women do not court their rapists. They don't say, fuck me in the ass after they've been anally raped. They go to court. They get the police to arrest this guy. She's clearly a liar, but because people like you empower her, they end up running with this lie. And it makes me mad as more of a feminist than most feminists, because it trivializes the woman who was attacked with a knife in an alleyway by a guy and raped and had to go on AIDS medication after.
Right. Those instances are horrifying, but my issue with taking apart her story a bunch is that most instances of rape and sexual assault are with somebody you know. It's with somebody you went on a date with. It has lots of gray lines. It's not a stranger on the street. Most of the time it's somebody already in your life who has crossed that boundary. And so it gets really sticky when you start taking apart the actual events. And yeah, I think
that's called justice, Heather.
I think after an assault, it is quite questionable to send messages asking for anal sex.
Yeah,
but I would also say that like devaluing somebody's no mid-sex is frequent, and it gets tricky when you know somebody and when you are consenting to part of the interaction, but not all of it.
We can't question these victims. That's what justice is. By not questioning the victim, we've ruined this guy's life. That's why he's suing the school. I mean, we have met, and if you look at the data, well, I'm afraid blacks are raping wildly disproportionately to their representation in the population. I mean, if you look at the number of white men who rape black women and the number of black men who rape white women, it's startling.
What are those numbers? Do you have them?
I don't have them on me, but the white men who rape white women is so inconsequential, it's hard to quantify. It's something like 8. And then the black men who rape white women is in the hundreds.
And that may be based on who's reporting, because
I think you would prefer if it was the other way around, because it would fit your sort of plantation narrative.
I'm not trying to make it fit a plantation narrative.
Well, I just don't understand why someone who cares about rape can ignore statistics.
I know
it's
that
like you pick and choose.
As a white woman who's talked to many other white women and is a survivor myself, white women are often more likely to report a black assault. They are more likely to highlight that violence and see that as violence, whereas oftentimes this isn't coming out quite how I want it to right now. But
white women will get raped by a black man, they'll freak out and make sure it gets on the books, but they'll get raped by a UVA jock with blonde hair and go, that wasn't really rape, or no one would believe me, or he's too powerful. Is that where we're at? That's a psychotic world you've painted. I mean,
it is close, though.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. You see, the dominant narrative is your sticker. The dominant narrative in America is white people are evil, white people suck, we should be ashamed of ourselves. And
I don't think we should be ashamed of ourselves. I think that we should take responsibility for the system that we've created.
The best system in the world?
Oh, we do not have the best system in
Who
the
has
world.
a better system?
There are many European countries that are much better off than us.
You mean like the European countries with a higher density of whites, like Northern Europe?
That's one way to phrase it, I guess.
You don't mean Turkey.
No.
You don't mean Eastern Europe
No.
with the communists. So the only time you can come up with a system that's better than America, it's a country that's more white than America. I don't understand.
I don't know what to say to that.
So the reason whites are doing well is because we cheated.
Yeah.
But if you look at the data of Asians, for example, you will find way more Asian privilege than there is white privilege. Asians make way more money than whites. They're way more educated than whites. They are less likely to experience any kind of crime than whites are. They're less likely to die at work than whites are. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, they suffer from a different sort of racial stereotyping.
Well, they don't suffer. They're kicking our ass. Everything you can say about white privilege is more true with Asian privilege. No one grabs their purse when
pigeonholes them.
Pardon?
It still pigeonholes them.
Pigeonholes them as successful? I don't think anyone minds being pigeonholed like that. Hey, Mr. Successful, why don't you go drive a nice car?
It's not near as harmful as how black folks are stereotyped, certainly.
Okay, so why don't you start at the top then, and let's try to dismantle Asian privilege.
Asian privilege, I wouldn't call it Asian privilege.
Well, it fits all the criteria of white male privilege.
What do you mean by that?
They get better jobs. They get better educations. No one sees them as threatening. Everything that you can say that whites cheated to get is more prevalent in an Asian society. Okay, let's drop that. I guess it's not going anywhere. Because as far as we're concerned, as men, we go plus size down to skinny is fine with us. And a doctor would probably say plus size is a bit rich. So we're actually nicer than doctors when it comes to standards. But women are the ones who shit on you if your purse isn't Hermes, and women are the ones who buy these fashion magazines and insist on women that are kind of gross. They're so skinny they look like 12-year-old boys. Women and gays have gotten together and created this beauty standard that we weren't consulted on.
Yeah, I wasn't consulted either.
That's a good one. Well, I just feel like I don't understand why men get blamed for these unattainable beauty standards when we're fucking pigs. In fact, I know guys...
I don't blame individual men. I blame the system that's...
But the system is run by females and gays, the beauty fashion industry.
Yeah.
We don't have jocks. I did a sketch on this called If Dudes Ran Fashion. You don't have sports fans defining outfits.
No.
Or we just say, high-heel jeans, high-heel shoes, cut-off jeans, fucking a sweatshirt where you can see your tits. And we'd be good.
Yeah.
We've got so much to tackle here today, and it's going incredibly well.
Burqas and hijabs, people can wear that. That's a religious expression thing. That's not...
Is it, though?
Yeah.
Okay. If the burqa is just religious expression and it's perfectly fine, why is it black polyester in the Middle East? Why are you in a bin bag, as Billy Connolly puts it? Why isn't it flowing white gauze or a fresh cotton? It's clearly meant to punish the woman and make her suffer. Black polyester in the Middle East ain't comfy. And it impairs your vision. It's a form of oppression. But feminists in the West seem more concerned about high heel shoes, which women wear as a choice. We just had our military.
I mean, I'm not concerned about high heel shoes, and I tend not to criticize people on what they're wearing, because I think what we wear is an expression of ourselves, our culture, and a whole variety of factors.
But a burqa is not a choice. It's illegal not to wear one in all over the Middle East. Sharia law dictates a woman cannot show her body.
I'm not from that culture, so I would rather not tell them what to do right now.